Hello and welcome to That Was Golf. My name is Calum MacVicar. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the Weekly Review. We have a total of 19 tours to check into this week. So without further ado, let's have a look at what happened in last week's golf. We start this week on the LPGA Tour, where it was the JM Eagle LA Championship held at El Caballero Country Club in Los Angeles, California, USA. Winning here was Hannah Green. Aussie Hannah Green continues her incredible season, winning the JM Eagle LA Championship for the third time in the last 4 years. Green made a birdie blitz in her final back nine stretch to catch up with Se-Young Kim and Jin Hee Im, who both failed to keep distance from Green, making bogeys on their respective back nines. Entering a playoff, Green's back nine momentum was in full flight as she made birdie on the first playoff hole, with Kim and Im both making par. This is Green's fourth win on the LPGA Tour this year and her eighth of her career. We next head to the first senior major of the year, the Senior PGA Championship held at the Concession Golf Club in Bradenton, Florida, USA. Winning here was Stewart Cink. A scintillating, bogey-free 63 9-under par, which included 7 birdies and an eagle in the final round of play, gave Stewart Cink his first senior major championship. His final round 63, the lowest of the weekend, saw him sail to a 6-shot lead over Ben Crane in second place, and comfortably secure his third win of the season on the PGA Champions Tour. Next, over to the Nordic Golf League, where there were 2 events this week. The first was the Echo Tour Sand Valley Masters, held at Sand Valley Golf Resort in Pasilek, Poland. Winning here was Eric McIntosh. Gaining his first win as a pro, Eric McIntosh was made to battle through a playoff round with Oliver Gilberg after the pair finished on 15 under par over 3 rounds. McIntosh clinched the title with a birdie in the first playoff hole and currently sits in 8th place on the Order of Merit standings. The second event was the Sand Valley Spring Series finale, held at the Sand Valley Golf Resort in Pasilek, Poland. Winning here was Adam Wallin. Another playoff was needed to decide the final event of the Sand Valley Series, with 3 players finishing on 21 under par. 5 playoff holes were needed to find a winner in Pasilek, with Adam Wallin eventually coming out on top thanks to a birdie on the 5th playoff hole. Wallin now sits in 10th place on the season's Order of Merit. On the Live Golf League, it was Live Golf Mexico, held at Club de Golf Chapultepec, Naculpan de Juarez, Mexico. Winning here was Jon Rahm. Despite uncertainty on the future of the Live Golf League with news of legal disputes and financial losses, it was business as usual for the players as they teed up in Mexico. Jon Rahm topped the leaderboard at the end of Sunday's round, with David Puig in second and Josele Ballester third, rounding out an all-Spanish podium finish. Rahm's final round, a bogey-free 64 7-under par, gave him a final tally of 21 under par for the tournament and 6 shots clear of David Puig in second place. A final team score of 45 under par for Rahm's Legion 13 brought a first win of the season for the Spaniards team, 9 shots clear of Sergio Garcia's Fireballs in second place. On the JLPGA, it was the KKT Cup Vantolin Ladies Open, held at Kumamoto Kuko Country Club in Kumamoto, Japan. Winning here was Sayaka Takahashi. Sayaka Takahashi took home her second win in her last 3 events on the JLPGA, securing the victory with a narrow 1-shot lead over Ai Suzuki. Takahashi and Suzuki entered the final round in equal first place on 10 under par, and played out an incredibly closely contested round 3, with Takahashi holding on for victory with a nervy par on 18 after making a bogey on the 17th and Suzuki making birdie on 18. On the Professional Golf Tour of India, it was the Boulders Classic held at Boulders Hill Golf Club in Hyderabad, India. Winning here was Shivankar Sharma. A commanding display from Shivankar Sharma saw him solo lead the Boulders Classic from round 2, finishing on a total of 25 under par and a massive 8-shot lead over 3 players in tied second place. This is Sharma's first pro win in 8 years, with his last coming at the Maybach Championship in Malaysia on the DP World Tour in 2018. On the KPGA, it was the 21st DB Insurance Promi Open, held at La Vie Belle Golf and Resort in Chuncheon-si, Dongsan-myeon, South Korea. Winning here was Sang-yop Lee. The Korean PGA Tour kicked off its 2026 season this week, with Sang-yop Lee putting in a very accomplished performance to win his second career title on the tour. An opening round of 67 was followed by 3 rounds of 66, to give a total of 23 under par and a 2-shot lead over Tae-hoon Ok in second place. On the Corn Ferry Tour, it was the Tulum Championship, held at PGA Riviera Maya in Tulum, Quintana Roo, Mexico. Winning here was Dylan Menante. A final round to remember for Dylan Menante clinched the young American his first win on the Corn Ferry Tour. A 63 9 under par on Championship Sunday saw Menante finish on 19 under par, 6 shots ahead of overnight leader Blades Brown in second place. Menante's final total of 269 also broke the 72-hole tournament scoring record by a whopping 10 shots and moves him up to 6th in the season's order of merit. Over on the Ladies European Tour, it was the Joburg Ladies Open held at Rand Park Golf Club in Randburg, Johannesburg, South Africa. Winning here was Agathe Lane. 5 playoff holes were needed to find a winner in Johannesburg as Agathe Lane, Cassandra Alexander and Kirsten Rudgley all finished the tournament on 19 under par. Alexander was knocked out after the first playoff hole, leaving Lane and Rudgley to battle out until Lane eventually bested Rudgley, making a birdie on the 5th playoff hole to secure her second win of the season and second career win on the Ladies European Tour. Lane now sits in first place on the season's order of merit, with Cassandra Alexander not too far behind in second place. On the KLPGA, it was the St. Nine Masters, held at Jimhae Gaya Country Club in Jimhae-si, Gyeongsangnam-do, South Korea. Winning here was Kim Min-sun 7. A wire-to-wire performance for Kim Min-sun 7 gave the South Korean native a second win on the KLPGA Tour, after rounds of 65, 66 and 69 brought a winning total of 16 under par and sees her move up to 4th in the KLPGA points list for the season. Over on the Ladies European Tour Access Series, it was the Madef Golf Ladies Open, held at Royal Golf de Fez in Fez, Morocco. Winning here was Caroline Sturza. A maiden victory for Caroline Sturza on the opening round of the Ladies European Tour Access Series was secured with a clutch 25-foot putt on the final hole of play in Morocco for the Swiss International. Starting the day 3 strokes behind overnight leader Cecile Leith-Nielsen, Sturza shot a 72 under par in the final round, as Leith-Nielsen ended on a 3 over 75, which included a triple bogey on her 3rd hole to finish 2 shots off the lead. On the PGA Tour, it was the RBC Heritage, held at Harbortown Golf Links in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, USA. Winning here was Matt Fitzpatrick. A bogey on the 72nd hole of play for Matt Fitzpatrick meant that he dropped from 19 under par to 18 under par for the tournament, and faced a playoff with the most inevitable chaser in golf, world number 1 Scottie Scheffler. Just as he did 3 years ago against Jordan Spieth, Fitzpatrick came through the playoff to win the RBC Heritage, making it 2 wins at Harbortown Links for the Englishman and a second win on the PGA Tour this season. On the Pro Golf Tour, it was the Red Sea Egyptian Classic, held at Golf Club Ain Sokhna in Ain Sokhna, Egypt. Winning here was Nicholas Horder. After an opening round of 72 under par, Nicholas Horder followed up with 2 super low rounds, a 64 8 under in round 2 and a 63 9 under in the final round, to finish on 19 under par, taking out the Red Sea Egyptian Classic 5 shots ahead of last week's winner Christophe Ulanars in second place. On the Clutch Pro Tour, it was the Motocaddy Masters, held at Haythrop Park Golf Course in Chipping Norton, England. Winning here was OJ Farrell. In the opening event of the season on the Clutch Pro Tour, OJ Farrell's decisive birdie putt on the 18th hole of his final round was enough to give him a 1-shot advantage over Jamie Rutherford in second place. Finishing on 14 under par, scores of 67, 69 and 66 on the par 72 course gave Farrell his first win on the Clutch Pro Tour. Over on the LPGA of Taiwan, it was the Nantao Golf and Country Club Futures, held at Nantao Golf and Country Club in Nantao City, Taiwan. Winning here was Yuria Sonada. In her rookie season on the LPGA of Taiwan, Yuria Tsunoda beat Chi Min Chen in a playoff after both players finished on a final score of 5 under par. Tsunoda, who was also playing in her first event in her rookie season on the LPGA of Taiwan, almost looked set to miss out on a share of the top spot after struggling to keep bogeys off her scorecard in the final round. But a clutch birdie putt on 18 brought her back to 5 under and into the playoff, which she eventually won. Over on the Annika Women's All-Pro Tour, it was the Coke Dr. Pepper Open, held at Links on the Bayou, Alexandria, Louisiana, USA. Winning here was Katie Liu. Katie Liu won the Coke Dr. Pepper Open with an emphatic display across the weekend, which included the low round of the weekend, a 63 9 under par in round 2, with rounds of 67 and 66 either side to finish on a score of 20 under par and 2 shots clear of Katie Villegas in second place. Liu and Villegas both earned exemptions into the Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic on the Epsom Tour next month, thanks to their first and second place finishes. On the Sunshine Tour, it was the Mediclinic Invitational held at Heron Banks Golf and River Estate in Sasolburg, South Africa. Winning here was Samuel Simpson. The 2026-27 season of the Sunshine Tour got underway last week, with Samuel Simpson taking the inaugural trophy, finishing on 19 under par and 3 shots ahead of 2 players in tied second place. On his way to his second victory on the Sunshine Tour, Simpson recorded a 9 under par in round 3, a career low on the tour for the South African. And lastly this week, we head to the PGA Tour Americas, where it was the Brazil Open, held at the Rio Olympic Golf Course in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Winning here was Mason Green. The PGA Tour Americas got underway this week in Brazil, with Mason Green gaining his first win on the tour, only 2 weeks after gaining his status through Q School. Rounds of 65, 64, 66 and 67 ensured Green finished in his debut event first place on the PGA Tour Americas, with a 2-shot cushion over Brett Roberts in second place. And for another week, that was golf. Thank you so much for listening in to this episode. If you like what we do here at That Was Golf, be sure to give us a follow on our socials and subscribe to the podcast to stay up to date with all future episodes, released every Tuesday, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.